This is Fantology.
You may have heard of us.
Episode 1, fantastic start to the new season. Don't have much negative to say about this one at all from top of mind, and I'm very excited to continue watching. I'm glad that the special effects seem a lot better in this season, like the VFX that they did on Nivellen and on the monster that I do not remember the name of was awesome. I'm just going to call her Hot Samara because that's basically what she was. This one, if I remember correctly, was the same. I believe it was in one of the short stories, and it's basically the Beauty and the Beast story or fable or whatever the origins of that one was. I thought that was cool, and I love at the end you're not sure who the monster is, Geralt or Nivellen or Hot Samara. Really good and really nice themes here. Nice kind of self-contained story. That was the main interest for me. I didn't care as much about what was going on with Yennefer and Tissaia. And honestly, maybe that's one criticism, is I don't understand, why does Tissaia care so much about Yennefer? Like, if I remember correctly from the first season, she hasn't seen her for years and they were never that close in school. So what is the strong connection? Maybe that's my only criticism. Very excited to continue into the rest of the season. This one was good, I guess. It wasn't bad. It was certainly exciting. The fight with the Leshen was cool, and the special effects have obviously gotten a lot better. The Geralt-Ciri dynamic is really good and somewhat heartwarming, and the show still kind of has that heart to it. At the same time, there's like these really personal stories with Geralt, and then there's the big continent-wide conflict that is brewing, and that's what we get with Yennefer and Fringilla and the elves. And I'm just not sure how they're going to tie these things in together. Obviously too soon to really have any judgment here, because I think that's the point of this season, or maybe the entire series as it goes forward. So thus far, not convinced about the importance of the big conflict, because I care a lot more about Geralt, and I'm hoping they bring Yennefer back in and make her exciting. Right now, the elves seem, not really sure what to make of that. All right, at this point, I think I can already say that this show is awesome, and I love it. Season 2 so far, I mean, I've only seen 3 episodes, so it's probably too early, but it's great. I feel like right now I'm confused in all the right ways. There are several different plot lines that are going on, and we haven't had them explained all the way. I have read the books. I only remember a few details, so it's kind of fun to like rediscover, and I don't care about changes to the books because I don't remember them as much. And honestly, I'm liking the show more than I enjoyed the books. So there's that. On Yennefer's side, maybe I was hoping that she would be able to kind of like maneuver the politics, even though she didn't have her magic, a little bit more. Maybe I was expecting a little more from Yennefer. Like, I just want her to kind of own everything. But I do also like to see like her character taken down to its raw materials here, I guess. And we can see now from back from the first season when power was the only thing that was sustaining her. Now that is gone as well. And so where is she going to go? I did not understand why she ran off with Cahir. That didn't make sense to me. And maybe it's got something to do with the crone witch woman from episode 2. So looking forward to understanding more about that. Then on the Geralt-Ciri side, okay, the training montage was pretty awesome. The just like the heart that we see in the show there with all the other Witchers, very cool. Even though it kind of felt like American Ninja Warrior at times, the whole sequence was great. And then the monster fight again was awesome. The CGI, wow, really stepped up here. It's really looking good, and I gotta watch more right now. At what point is Geralt going to figure out that Yennefer is still alive? Oh, this is really well done, but it's maddening. I'm liking that Triss is also in it more. She wasn't in the first season very much and didn't really have anything cool to do, but now she's a cool character. And if you play the video games, you know there's kind of this love triangle thing going on between the three there, and it doesn't look like they're really leaning into that too much, more of just kind of like a nod to it here, which I'm fine with. I don't think we need a love triangle here in this series. And then the other takeaway from this one is, Skier is back and just like beautifully dark and still funny And the part where he breaks the fourth wall and they laugh about what happened in season 1 with the time jumps and his unreliable narration and his song was awesome. And then the end with the broken lute, I mean, that gave me some PTSD from reading too much Kingkiller Chronicle. Oh, but I'm glad. I mean, that at least that means he's going to be in the show more. If he just walked away, I'd be really concerned, and I love that character. Okay, so we have our mid-season kind of mystery build episode. I'm assuming this is really just going to tie in to maybe like series-long things and definitely season-end things here. It got a little weird with the prophecy stuff, but I like fantasy books. This is a staple of the genre. I really liked it. I'm trying to remember back to how this plays out in the books, and it does seem like they're really kind of leaning into some of the prophecy and endgame of the books, which is awesome. We got the Wild Hunt comes in there, and I think I did hear that the Wild Hunt was supposed to be more of the endgame for this series as well. And it's interesting here because there's so many ways that they could take the story with the video games and the books, and the video games themselves have different storylines you can get into. So they've really got like all of these ideas on the table. Awesome stuff. Yennefer trying to make her decision now with the mysterious crone woman. I really don't know what to make of that, but I think it's awesome that we're going to have all of these like conflicting agendas here, as Istrid would say. And speaking of Istrid, the moment where him and Geralt were like, oh, you love Yennefer, I love her too. That was some good stuff. I like that, even though obviously Geralt could take down Istrid. Come on, that's no competition there. Finally, we are all together again, and it feels so good, even though it's only for one episode, as things immediately fall apart. I am a little confused how people are getting around so quickly. Like, how did Yennefer get there? I guess like the witch crone swamp woman teleported her there. Okay, that's fine. I don't understand how Ryance, the annoying mage with the burned face from Yennefer, got to Kaer Morhen, or, well, I guess he portaled in, but how did he know to go there? Maybe I just missed something there. Not a big deal. If I remember correctly from the books, he just kind of like dogs at their heels for a while and is annoying. I don't remember like what his deal was or who sent him. And my theory right now is that Stregobor is pulling the strings, at least in the show. We'll see how that one bears out. Another thing I don't understand is the elves not having children. Maybe I missed something there, but why can they not? The scene was nice, and I'm obviously happy for the elves. Unfortunately, I'm still not like super invested in the whole elf Nilfgaardian thing. We'll see what happens when the Emperor shows up, and they need like a big battle scene or like something to make me care more about the whole fate of the continent. And then finally getting everyone together, getting Yennefer back was awesome. We needed it. It's been a while. Little stuffed unicorn quip was funny from the video games. If you know, you know. The fight scene was really cool. We haven't had something that cinematic and awesome since episode 1, season 1. And they're doing with now the Yennefer's character and the decision she has to make, right? Her whole thing has been she got the power, but that wasn't enough. That didn't give her what she wanted in life, which was a place, which was love, which was acceptance and having someone who understood her. And she has that opportunity, right? Like one thing she can do here is protect Ciri and join up with Geralt and try to live happily in that direction, or she can essentially sacrifice her, get her power back, which is not what brought her happiness, and she knows that, but at the same time she is so desperate. So it'll be really interesting to see what she does with this choice. Essentially, she can make the same choice that she did originally, or she can try for something different. I hope she chooses the latter, but I'm really intrigued. Just as I feared, Yennefer made the wrong decision, or she was going to and then stopped just in time, which is probably pretty predictable. Like, she's not really going to go totally off the rails, is she? Well, she has before, so it could have happened. But Geralt comes in just in time to save her, along with Yarpen Zigarin, or the dwarf guy, and Jaskier, and gosh, that was an awesome ending to that episode. We're in the end game now. I think some of the stuff before, the politics are still a little slow. I know that Dijkstra and Redania are like important to the story, but man, they do just kind of seem like they're just stuffed in there. Like there's already a lot going on. There's already a lot of players here. So I probably could have done without that in this season, even though it's like not in there a whole lot. There's already a lot. There's a lot of different factions at play. So maybe better without that. I don't have many criticisms though. Like this season's been awesome. And gosh, only one more episode. Okay, good luck, guys. The season finale was awesome. I loved it. It brought together everything we love about the series with all of our characters, the monster hunting, the heart of it. I thought one thing in this season that was really nice, there were a lot of like really well written, meaningful lines, and we got some of that. Geralt is obviously more chatty in this season, which is fine. He still kind of has that gruff demeanor, but you get to see his heart more. Anyway, the actual action of this was great. A couple things I didn't understand. One, the rock. The rock was random. It felt like it was just something to give Jaskier to do. Not a fan of the rock. And the other thing was Tissaia, like turning the Brotherhood and getting the mages to all gang up against Ciri. Maybe I missed something, but it felt like that was maybe a little bit of a leap, and there was so much going on. Maybe I didn't quite follow that. But it does set up action for the next season really well. And one thing that I continually harped on throughout this one was like, oh, I didn't think that the continent-wide conflict was done well enough. Well, I think I do stand by that throughout this season. I didn't care about it enough, but it now is a setup for what's going to happen in the future. So I am on board with that. These are just kind of my raw reactions. And let me do an overall season review in maybe just a minute after I think about this a little bit more. But season finale, excellent. Okay, season as a whole, I have to say, my opinion, and I don't even think this is too much of a hot take. I think a lot of people are going to agree with me. This was the best season of fantasy TV that we have seen since Game of Thrones season 6. Maybe that is even debatable because I know some people didn't like that one. I did. Yeah, I stand by that. This was awesome. Witcher season 2, it's really good stuff. And I mean, I'm at the point where I'm just now cannot wait for season 3. It's a year away. That's kind of what sucks about TV. But I loved almost everything about this. I think you could maybe find some minor quibbles, especially maybe big book fans might have some things like, oh, it was different. I don't remember the books that much, and honestly, I didn't even really like the books that much, and I thought the series was a huge improvement on what they did in the books. And everything we love, like our characters throughout, Geralt, Ciri, Yennefer, they finally come together. Maybe that was one thing. Maybe if they would have been together, especially the Yennefer, Geralt, could have been together a little bit more. That would have been nice because they have such great chemistry. I feel like if I really dug into it and tried to get into the individual episodes and exactly what happened, like maybe there were some plot holes. I think if you dig into any source of media, you can find plot holes. And I think this is what Wheel of Time haters are struggling with, is some plot holes. And you know what? I'll agree. I think the writing in Wheel of Time is a little shaky, especially, obviously we've only seen one season. And Witcher season 2 writing was better. The Witcher has some advantages, right? Because they only have to tell the story of 3 main characters and a bunch of other side things. Wheel of Time has a lot more main characters that they're trying to make things happen with. But this gives me some hope for Wheel of Time Season 2. I think they have plenty of room to improve. I think The Witcher Season 1 was good, but not anything super fantastic like we have here in Season 2. So I have a lot of hope for the future of Wheel of Time and other fantasy TV shows if they're able to pull this off again. Like this is not the awesome success that we've seen since Game of Thrones Season 5, 6. Overall, I'm going 9 out of 10. Witcher Season 2, we could probably break it down into some different categories, but my thoughts here, it's a 9 out of 10. There may be some minor things, especially the bit, like I said, the big continent-wide conflict, the elves, maybe not quite done well enough. I'm excited to see this Witcher blood origin thing. I wonder if that will maybe sell me on all of this more, but it's the season now at this point has done a better job, I think, than the books of getting me interested in the backstory and the lore of the conjunction of the spears and the magic and the like, it's doing a good job of now making me interested. So that's a great setup for the rest of the series, which I imagine will explore this more and more. Now that we've taken care of, well, have we taken care of the Baba Yaga witch thing? Is it like powering the Wild Hunt? Maybe that's a criticism. Maybe I wasn't really into the Swamp Witch. I can't remember the name. He kind of brought in towards the end. Well, obviously towards the beginning, but didn't really become the big bad till towards the end, and is now powering the Wild Hunt or something. Or yeah, that was maybe a little bit weak. And you know, if you think about it a ton, there are probably some plot holes, things that could have been better, I'm sure. But you know what? My raw reaction of this is I really loved the season. I was entertained throughout. I cannot nitpick too much here. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did and are able to kind of set aside any book differences. And finally, if you would like to toss a coin to your podcaster, you can just like and sub and join us on Discord and talk with us more. The reason why we're doing this, the reason why Phantology Podcast exists and why I do this is because I just like to talk to people about the things like this that I love. So let us know what you think in the comments. See you later.